YouTubers, the Cineast Reality TV blogger. Hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today I'm going to be doing an expose on Love Island Australia Season 3 because more articles are coming out now that are inquiring about how far in advance a lot of this was filmed and kind of putting into some questions depending on who wins by the end of this week and how they incorporate, or if they incorporate, any final voting, how it's going to basically look kind of shady. You'll remember a few videos I've kind of reiterated and implied that there are some, things going on in terms of filming had to be cut to 30 days to the fact that one of the production people had broke COVID protocol. So as a result, they shortened the number of episodes and shortened the number of filming days and so forth. So more people now are aware of the Daily Mail article that was on November 10th that featured Chris and Zoe's final date pictures. And there were some other articles as well that had both Aaron and Jess's final date photos. But at the time, you couldn't tell that it was Jess. You just saw that it was a blonde. And now, of course, we know that it's actually Jess since Eliza got sent home. But prior to that, we would have, you couldn't make out who it was. And then also, I think there was also pictures of Tina and Mitch's final date as well. And then there was another article that came out the following week on the 18th from a website called So Dramatic or So Dramatic Online that was inquiring how far in advance a lot of these episodes and things were filmed, because at that point in time on the 18th, they were saying that, Ryan was already spotted out and about. Taku was online on his personal Facebook account. And then he was also spotted at a nightclub and people had pictures, and he was wearing like the same striped shirt that he wore when we watched Monday's episode of Taku being eliminated. So that was at least, a couple of weeks ago, potentially. A week to 2 weeks ago, is around the time frame that I want to say that we're behind. Unfortunately, and it kind of sucks because the episode that aired Monday, episode 25, kind of ruined things, because the vote that they were talking about from Australia was actually a couple of weeks ago that took place around the time when the couples reunited from Casa Amor. So when Aaron and Jess reunited, when Mitch and Tina reunited, when Chris and Zoe reunited. And if you'll remember back then, Chris and Zoe, they were only together for like a week or so. So they were like fairly early stages of everything. And so, there was a public vote at that point in time. However, 2 weeks on a reality show is like a lifetime of things that can change. And as we all know, obviously things with Jess and Aaron currently are not, okay. They're kind of rocky, and they had, of course, that big fight to where Aaron almost left. So it didn't make sense, even from a viewer's perspective, as to why they were even named as a top 2 couple if it wasn't going to be implemented, within the next couple of days. Because usually with these public votes, whether it's the US franchise or the UK franchise, they're implemented, almost immediately, whether it's the next day or within the next couple of days, because typically on the normal seasons, they like to have, us see the episodes, whether we're like a day or maybe 2, max 3 days behind, but never this week or 2 weeks behind, because then it kind of puts into question some of the episodes in terms of what's authentic and what isn't. So, that's a little bit of a concern. And then I think Ryan had also said in an interview, I think I had mentioned in a previous video, that he had already been home for a few weeks for a while or whatever. And I just don't understand that even if they had these restrictions, why they could not, make sure that the cast was, away at some type of hotel or some type of location that would have been, closed off, security wise, to where people are not spotting them at all these various locations, because then it kind of just looks as though nothing that we are seeing is new. And potentially, we don't even know if any of the couples at this point are still together, because we're talking about a couple of weeks now of time that has already passed since they filmed those final dates, and since, other people have been eliminated. So that puts into question, obviously, where a lot of things stand, because we really don't get that, we really aren't having a true finale when you think about it on this Thursday, because technically, our Islanders are still, they're watching the show just like us, trying to figure out, what's going to happen or what isn't going to happen. Because it's a very possible thing that I also mentioned in my last review, that they could potentially spring another public vote on us for Tuesday and Wednesday, to make it seem as though our vote's going to impact the finale. And possibly they may have already filmed potential scenarios if different people won. So maybe a scenario if Mitch and Tina won, and a scenario if Chris and Zoe won, and then play it as though, it was based on Australia's vote, and then whoever actually wins the popular vote is going to actually be the winner. But then it's not authentic, because if they did do that and film it as though there were, potentially different outcomes based off of how the votes go, then really whoever truly is the winner, it's not going to be authentic, unless they were the first couple who were shot to do their, reaction to being the quote unquote winners of Love Island USA season 3 2021 of the 50K. So yeah, a lot of people are concerned, a lot of people are upset, because it just takes away some of the authenticity of the show. And the whole purpose of the show is based off of, the live viewing, typically 5-6 days a week, usually on the US and the UK franchises, where you're seeing the show, at least pretty within the last day to 2 days, for sure, 5 to 6 days a week. And then, of course, like some type of recap episode, whether that airs on a Friday or Saturday, but at least Sunday through Thursday or Sunday through Friday, you're getting brand new content on the US and the UK shows. So you are not behind by any means at all in terms of what is actually going on current state in the villa, and your votes are having immediate impact. You get to vote on which bombshell you want to appear on the show. You get to vote, of course, on your favorite Islanders and your favorite couples. And then, of course, you have like your tweet challenge, where some of the popular things that are said online, and the producers kind of pick some of the messiest ones for certain Islanders, and they incorporate that into a challenge. I don't even know if we're going to even have time for a Meet the Parents thing with this season, just because of how crammed in everything seems, unfortunately. So, but there's just a lot with that public vote that happens, and specifically for American and US and UK versions, you can vote on an app and, have live impacts on a lot of things. And I'm just very concerned on how this is all going to pan out once this finale airs, because then, of course, we're going to get the bombardment of the post-show interviews, and I'm sure they're not going to be able to technically say that, oh yeah, this was over a few weeks ago that we filmed this or whatever, but so who knows what in the world is going on. But it's just kind of unfortunate, because it kind of ruins the fun, because now I'm not as excited to watch these last few episodes, especially if Tina and Mitch do end up winning, because I feel like it's a cop-out. I feel like it was predetermined, before we even watched the show, that they wanted Tina and Mitch to win, because they were always getting that sort of edit. And they're getting a very similar edit to a couple of couples that this happened with on the UK version, but I'm still rooting for Chris and Zoe because, again, I just feel Chris and Zoe embody, what Love Island is truly about, which is finding a genuine love connection, which is really being able to talk through any concerns or issues, but not having too many major blowups or major drama that would be significant red flags. That would definitely not be something that would work on the outside. And they're the only couple who's officially boyfriend and girlfriend, and the most likely to say I love you on these final dates. So it feels like it would be just kind of ruined the season, kind of ruined already, that we know obviously that this was filmed at least a few weeks ago, but also the fact if Zoe and Chris do not win over Mitch and Tina, I think the fans are going to riot because they are already upset about Aaron and Jess being top two, and there's no way on, any planet they should have been the top two. And I honestly feel as well that had Chris and Zoe been the top two couples with Tina and Mitch, that we would still have Taku and Michaela, because again, I still just feel a certain way about Tina and Mitch on how the first opportunity they had to vote out couples, this is the second time they, made a beeline straight for Michaela and Taku, and it didn't matter whether or not their connection was stronger or not. It's truly based off of the fact that Taku was one of the early fan favorites. But even with that being said, he technically was not as advanced in his coupling compared to Mitch and Tina and Chris and Zoe, and even Aaron and Jess, like they weren't together as long. So, and we also know obviously the multiple breakups and things that happen within that coupling. So Taku was never a threat to actually win, but I just feel like it kind of sucks that he was deprived of that opportunity to have that final date. And I don't like that. I feel moving forward that if we're going to have public votes, we really need to have our public votes matter. Like there's a reason that we vote for our favorite couples and our least favorite couples. And if we're going to do this thing where, certain episodes, we're just going to let the couples vote out whomever, and then a lot of times they vote out the wrong people, then it just kind of ruins, a lot of everything. And it's like, we don't need Courtney and Noah at this point. Like, Courtney's provided more than enough drama. So it just, I don't know. And I still don't feel that her feelings for Noah are authentic. And if this really did film a few weeks ago, I doubt that they're still together. I'm sure she's already hit up Nick and everything else. So there's that. And I noticed that last week on last week's after party episode for Love Island, Ryan had mentioned that him and Nick were doing some big party this upcoming Saturday. So maybe that will also incorporate the entire cast, and we can maybe get some idea of who actually is still together and who isn't, because obviously this show did not do a good job this season in keeping things a secret. As well as this whole filming fiasco that happened. I'm hoping that due to the buzz of this season and with the number of on-demand viewers that this gets renewed for a season 4, and that hopefully they are the extended, the additional episodes to truly have a full at least 6 weeks of filming to where you're on par with the actual voting to make an impact on the show. So, because I felt like this season had so much promise, like the first few weeks, and really up until Casa Amor, and even the drama with the Aaron and, Jess fight. But then I feel like after, the last couple of bombshells came in after that, I just felt there was never really a chance for them to really make their mark or their impact or people, just voting for the wrong reasons in terms of if they think it's going to have an impact on the public or if they're doing it strictly to sabotage other people. So those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you guys think. And do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys again soon.